Hey guys, Ark here again. We are covering the next series of the Dreamhack qualifiers. So I'm going to try doing like a review of the games that I have and uploading them here. I'm doing them live on my Twitch, so you might again hear me reference people in the chat or something like that. So that is the reason why. Check out my Twitch if you haven't already. So this series is the best of 5 versus htrt. It ends up being only a best of 3 because htrt forgot it was a best of 5 and actually left like right after this. So, or not after this one, after the next series actually. This was a very exciting game, but what should have been an easy, quick game turned into a kind of a nightmare. Cool for viewers though. Yeah, I think I already kind of know what my major mistakes were, but we'll see definitely when we watch this game. What up, Lucky? Probably not the time to eat something. Hold on one second. This is not easy to eat. Oh my god. It is good though. Alright. So this was actually the one map I was really unsure of against him, because he's very difficult to predict, and I wasn't sure if he was just going to play standard or if he was going to throw some like oddball thing at me. And normally I would play Warden on this map, but I'm not super confident in my Warden versus like non-standard play, so I ended up going Keeper. I was debating about Demon Hunter, and the only reason why I didn't go Demon Hunter on this map is that I don't have a lot of experience playing Demon Hunter on this map because I haven't played it in a long time. Not that I have a lot of experience playing Keeper on this map, just because it's like I said, I mostly play Warden. Excuse me. Why is my W3 booster not showing up? I might need to restart this. Hold on one second, guys. How do I restart this? Okay. Is that fixed? It is not. W3 booster, run as administrator. Alright, it's gone, I think. So yeah, I wasn't entirely sure what I really wanted to do, but I ended up going with Keeper this game. Like I said, this was the map I was really unsure of exactly how it would play out, and what I kind of wanted to do. But it ends up working out in the end. So, okay, W3 booster should be going now. It's not going. What's going on here? Might have to deal without it, I guess. Sorry, guys. Okay, well, that is what it is. Just adding them to the list. Yeah, so Keeper Archer is going to be opening pretty normal. The one thing I was pretty sure I didn't want to do was to do the Mass Archer strat. Again, it's also because like I do play it quite a bit, but I haven't been playing it as much. And I felt like if there's one person who I could get into a game and see something that I haven't really experienced before with a strategy, it would have been htrt. So I didn't really want to do something that I hadn't done something, or that I didn't really feel strongly about how to approach the late game. So that's why I ended up going for lore units. And I deny a scout. I wasn't 100% sure if he was gonna footy scout, and so I didn't skill until I saw that and I killed it. I do scout out pretty well that he's doing the Merc camp and kind of what he's doing. I saw the AM, and so I have only level 1 Entangle, and since he had done the Merc camp, I knew I could try and get a peasant kill, and I do get level 2 off of that. And then that kind of snowballs into a little bit longer of a harass where I get, I think, two. I think I might actually only get this one because I don't think I actually killed that one. But anyways, I ended up killing the priest in like 1 footy, I believe. So a pretty nice trade for me overall. I think I do make a little bit of a mistake with my movement though. Let's see exactly how I did. I think that entangle might have been bad, but it ended up paying off because I still got the priest anyways. I think that this movement here might have been bad. I think I probably should have just ran up this way, but I was gonna buy a staff, thinking that I could go heal and then come back and continue to harass. But timing-wise, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. And so I think I needed to have these archers positioned right here so that I was immediately ready that once I healed up, I could creep this camp. So I think that was a bit of a mistake on my part. But anyways, I knew I'm going to get a second hero, probably a panda, or I was debating about Demon Hunter, but I knew he was expanding, so I was like, okay, I'll get a panda. And so just wanted to prepare to creep the turtles, or I'm sorry, the murlocs, to get level 2 on my panda. And just continue this harass, get a footy, pretty decent for me still. Also kill the priest. Yeah. And then this round was actually pretty nice, but I forgot to hide this archer here. I actually thought right there, I thought I hit both of them, but I didn't have that one selected. So it ended up being a pretty bad trade for me, actually. But ultimately, my AOW is in position to creep level 2. So I'm just keeping my keeper on his Archmage because I was going to try and force a TP while my panda crept, but I was still being a little bit slow here. Wasn't really multitasking that well. What was his reasoning for? Oh yeah. And I think this tree is probably a little too early. Actually, what I really think is I didn't really stick on this AM very well. I ran to his base thinking that he staffed back to his. Did he not even staff actually? Hold on, I want to check that. Maybe he just ran actually. Was that 7 units I think?
Ready for action. Job done. Ready for action. A town is under siege.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I wasn't really multitasking very well. Okay, so I thought he just ran back to his base. And yeah, so this movement was really bad for me, and I thought I was safe with this tree because my army was right here, but that was definitely a mistake. So I ended up canceling it, but I still did get a pretty good trade, force a TP here, kill footies. So at this point, I felt like I was in a pretty decent position, even though I was still only 2-2. I forced his TP, and he had already lost 2 priests, and I want to say 2 to 3 footies. And I had this spell also on the way, so this water elemental harass was not good at all. A little bit poor control on my part here, but I still trade pretty well. I kill a lot of footies. He does kill 2 to 3 archers, but I ended up killing his Archmage, which is really good for me. Did lose a Dryad, unfortunately. I think right here I should have Expo'd at this point. So I probably could have Expo'd just a little bit faster. My OW was in position. I just didn't have a Wisp, and the Wisp does send. So a little bit late on the Expo attempt, but pretty decent. Oh, actually, I forgot. I Expo'd here with the intention that I'd get Nature's Blessing at tier 3. And he taverns back, and so like I feel really confident about the position because of the buyback and killing all the footies. So one thing I wasn't sure about. Let's ban that dude. One thing I wasn't sure about, because I hadn't really scouted his base, I didn't realize he had no towers. So he's really behind on towers. But I don't think my plays change at all until right here. So I see him kill a little bit more units, force another TP, so I'm feeling really confident. And right here, this is where I made a mistake, because I start creeping. My AOW not finished at all, but like if you consider like where he's at, like he doesn't even have a Sanctum. I guess he does have one in his base, but like where he's at versus where I was at, I was so far ahead at this point that I could have done real damage in his base. But one thing I wasn't sure of was like where his tech was at. I probably could I have kept a better tab on that? I don't think I could have kept a better tab on his tech timing. I should have just had an idea based off of what he lost, that he probably slightly delayed his tech. So at this point, his tech actually seems even more delayed than normal. But I figured he would have had a second hero plus towers. So actually, you know what? Everything I'm saying is wrong, because after killing all these footies, it wouldn't have really mattered. Like, I had level 3 panda with staff. I didn't have a... So my tier 2 staff was delayed, so I couldn't staff the panda out and then staff him back in with the TP staff. So that's one downside. But regardless, I should have pressured right after this. Right after I forced him to TP. That should have been pressuring while I waited for Nature's Blessing and my Expo. So that was a mistake right here. I could have done real damage at like 10 minutes into the game. Possibly even killed him at 10 minutes into the game. Not having access to my shop might have made it a little bit hard, but this push right here came just a little too slow, I think. Regardless, though, I think I still could have done real damage here. I think I misplayed this a little bit, so I killed quite a lot. And I do lose some Dryads and stuff, but I'm killing a lot. And the Dryads are dying to a TP or a Guard Tower, so not a big deal. He TP's out here, I repositioned into here, but where I went wrong is right here. Yep. So when I run these bears back, I really misread the situation really poorly. Oh, I do have a staff. I realized. I misread the situation very poorly because I could have just stayed right here and just fought him. Like, nothing prevented me from fighting him right here. And so I just went into a worse position, unfortunately. Wasted a greater end roll. That was a bad idea. Either way, I still do a lot of damage here, but I think I think the game could have been over at this point. What a promote. Yeah, I think more often than not, I would have done game-ending damage at the 11-minute mark. But then also at this push right here, I still should have done game-ending damage.
A player's forces are under attack.
So moving back into his base, because I just totally misread that fight. But either way, I still have the Expo up. I'm still liking my situation. Honestly, I think I liked my situation really at all points of the game. Up until, like, I think there was a fight like right here. And that was the last fight I had scrolls in. Actually, this might have been the first fight I didn't have scrolls in. And it was basically his control of the shop that made the fights as close as they were. So like if these fights occur and I had scrolls, like he just gets bullied in them so hard. So I think the game itself probably looked a lot worse than it actually was. Because I don't think I really threw it as badly. It was just that he had scrolls and I didn't, and so like at the end of the fights, he still had a decent amount of money. I got caught. Yeah. So this wasn't a bad engagement for me actually. I think he used one scroll. I kill one unit here and then I back off. I did use a scroll here. I think that was my last scroll. And so I heal up, but food count wise, I'm 63 to 66, so it's still pretty even. You should mention shop control, stealing scrolls. You did it early, but backed off. Yeah, I was always just a little bit slow. Like there was one point right here where we both make it to the shop in time, but he gets like the shop highlights him like right here, and I have to run like all the way into here before the shop selects me. So it happens sometimes, but not sometimes it does happen. So this was actually not a bad fight for me, I don't think. Forcing him to TP. He used a scroll again, I believe. Picks up an alchemist. So like all these fights that like I'm losing a lot of HP and everything, but I'm not really losing units. It's like right here is my last scroll. I think I buy one. There was one available coming in soon, but I couldn't. I didn't have enough gold for it, and so he ends up picking it. So yeah, I'm losing a lot of HP and everything, but I have a lot of. A
player's forces are
I actually want to see if I kill anything here. I'm losing a lot of HP, and but I'm not losing too many units. He zones me a bit, losing my AOW, not big deal. He doesn't do anything close to it, though. Do you ever take Drunken Haze second versus Human? I did have Drunken Haze. Or do you mean Drunken Brawler? Drunken Brawler, like, if you go Panda first, that's pretty common. But Panda second, versus, like, I don't know, Drunken Haze, I feel like gets a lot of value versus rifles. I guess he doesn't really have rifles, but, I mean, it's still pretty decent. Especially when you're just trying to burn mana, too. This was kind of a weird engagement. So he just camped the shop to get another scroll, I guess.
A player's forces are under attack.
Yeah, and I should have only one, yeah. Why not single Chim? Chims are super fucking expensive, and they don't really get a whole lot of value if he's not like building a shit ton of knights. I think my entangles on this arcade were kind of bad. I think I should have entangled the units because he can just immediately cast Blizzard. So he gets some nice blizzards and flame strikes, but ultimately I still like my position. And I'm getting good run of fires. Going through a lot of mana, going through scrolls on his part. Right here I make a mistake, I think. I think I go potion of mana and then I try to haze flight combo him, and it doesn't give me enough mana. So right here, I just hazed him when I could have killed so many units right there. I think, at least. So ultimately, this fight actually probably looks pretty bad for me, but I actually saved a lot of my units. Yeah, so I'm still in like high upkeep, and he lost quite a bit of food. I think that's it. Probably looks pretty bad. I did rewatch like the stream a little bit. It probably looked pretty bad on the stream because like they didn't really show my units leaving the fight, so they probably like it's probably easy to assume that my units were dead. But I just basically ran them away. What up, Burrow? So I still have pretty high food count. I didn't really lose a whole lot. I still have 14 food in here, actually. That's probably a big reason why my food count's still so high. But, I mean, that basically shows that I really only lost, like, a couple bears. Because I basically started the fight at the same food count, and he lost 10 food or something. So, ultimately, I'm pretty happy with how these fights are going, because you can tell he's not really gaining a whole lot of experience. Whereas I'm still gaining experience slowly. The one part that really fucked me over though is that I didn't have a TP. Like I thought I had a TP, so that was the point where he got the scroll when he got the shop to select him right here, and I was like right here before it selected me. So he got the scroll first. There was a point where I thought I had a TP, and I was gonna TP to my expo, but I actually didn't have it. Actually, it's right here, I think. No, it'll probably be the next fight. So I figured he was positioning around me, so I'm bringing Wisp because that's going to destroy T3 Human. And actually not a bad positioning for him because my Panda can't focus anything, but my Wisps are flanking him, so he has to move his casters into me if he wants to dodge the Wisps, and if he doesn't dodge the Wisps, I win the fight anyways. So probably should have just TP'd right away, actually. A big Drunken Haze. I think he used a scroll there too and a TP. Meanwhile, I didn't lose any units. My bears got staffed.
Players' forces
so
are
pretty
under
good.
attack.
I'm just reviewing my Dreamhack games, so this is htrt. Got a lot of Wisp ready because my main is mined out. His main's probably got his main's about to be mined out, and I know that his expo was way sooner than mine. So eventually, the longer this game goes, the better. So if you consider this game. And consider what would happen if I didn't lose my expo. The game probably doesn't look as close as it probably seemed, in my opinion at least. So right here, I thought I had a TP, and I was, I thought I canceled something to give me gold when I realized I didn't have a TP, and I just didn't ever get a TP. So right here is where it gets really awkward because I just wasted all my Wisps for no fucking reason. So it instantly becomes very awkward because I have no gold for Wisps. I have 180, I guess. But because what I really should have done probably is just waited. I probably shouldn't have taken this fight. This is probably I would say that this is probably the only fight I really messed up on. I don't think I should have taken this fight. Obviously, I should have like done different things earlier in the game, but I think the major mistake was really just this fight in terms of what fights I should have. A lot of units fell. That's where he gets a lot of experience from. But I was just kind of in the mindset that, like, oh shit, I just lost my expo. I really have to win a fight. But I really don't think I needed to. And yeah. So this right here, the game gets very awkward, but my tree gets there. I can start selling stuff for wisps. And I had moonwells to heal up my stuff again. So I was able to take an engagement still, and my panda was still getting close to level 6. I knew he was running out of gold soon. I didn't know exactly how much he had left. But I knew that what I was dealing with here was very little. And Keeper, especially with it being nighttime, Keeper and Panda, I mean, I'm going to trade so effectively almost all the time. So I was still feeling pretty good about the game at this point. I had to really keep control of these Dryads because these are my last few units. But yeah, so my main focus was just getting enough experience for the Panda, and then I just made a little bit more kills, and there we go, level 6. So, I mean, like I said, I still felt pretty good about the game. I did lose all my wisps right here, which is really unfortunate. But then at this point, all I have to do is make sure I don't lose my tree. And I'm feeling pretty good. Because this is basically the rest of his army for the rest of the game. Wow, I saved that? I didn't realize I saved that. He probably should have TP'd out right away, but I don't know if you guys caught it. But I cycloned his Archmage at the start, which had TP. He swapped it to the Blood Mage. I cycloned the Blood Mage. This is probably a mistake. I probably shouldn't have cycloned the Archmage this time. I probably should have cycloned the Blood Mage again. But I was basically trying to force him to stay in the fight as long as possible. And I managed to kill the Alchemist. And yeah, force the TP. You know what? I wonder if I might have thought that the Archmage had the TP actually at this point. That might have, because I don't know why I would have focused the Blood Mage actually. But yeah, at this point I knew the game was pretty much over because he didn't kill my tree, and he lost his Alchemist. So I felt like his Alchemist was like dead for the rest of the game, which is it actually?
Forces are under attack.
Or is he? Okay, yeah, it must be dead for the rest of the game. So I got level 6 on my Keeper, and that's when I was like, okay, this game is for sure in my favor. And yeah, Breath of Fire, gonna do a lot of damage here, EMS. And the nice thing is he doesn't have units that my Dryads are gonna die to, so the game is pretty cut and dry after that. So I think I took one. I really think I only took one bad engagement in that fight. I think I could have missed or played a little bit differently, but as far as like positioning in a fight, I think there was only really one bad engagement. All right, so this is the last game for the series. So we'll play some games after this, probably. So Amazonia, so I was very confident that if htrt is very likely to play one base, I feel. And so I was very confident against one base human. So often, I don't necessarily often play Demon Hunter, but against someone that I know is going to play one base, Demon Hunter is pretty strong, I feel. I could play Warden as well, but like I said in the last game, I'm not as confident in Warden versus like non-standard play. And I could have played Keeper as well, but I just felt like Demon Hunter was definitely something that I felt a lot of confidence playing against htrt. Hey, what up, Yunan? So basically, this is something that I actually, whoops. I kind of thought about this before the game when I was deciding what route I wanted to do. And it kind of hit me that there's really no point in me harassing right after my level 2 because it doesn't deny anything. Like always, if the human does this route here, I can creep this Berserker in time to catch him on his second camp always. So there was really no point for me to harass right away. So this is actually something that I haven't typically done versus human. So it ended up working out pretty well, I thought. Because if you look at the timing, like he could be creeping the gold mine right now, but this archer is going to scout it out as well, and Timing-wise, it might not work out the best, but I was pretty confident he was going to play one base too, so that's why I think it worked out a little bit better. Maybe if he doesn't go one base and creeps the Expo right away, that might not be as good, but I felt pretty strong about this. And so yeah, I just deny his level 3 here. And takes a little bit extra damage because of the dash creep. It's kind of a hard creep camp to do, to be honest. But I think that was probably a mistake on his part to do that camp. I was expecting him to do this camp if he was going to play one base. So this was very unusual. Wasn't something I was expecting. And I know he will probably... So after he creeps this camp, he's probably not going to harass me right away. But just in general, like, you never want to let the human get to your base freely. So I moved my archers here just in case his footies are running this way, so I could get free attacks on his footies. If he was creeping 3, that's no big deal because I'm going to get boots and then I'm going to start focusing down some footies. And it ended up working out that way. So 4 archers against like basically equal number of footies while I have boots will very likely mean that at least one footy goes down. And as long as I have good micro here, this was like very close. I kind of lucked out a little bit here. I wasn't really, I wasn't paying close enough attention. That archer almost fell, but I was able to body block the Archmage fast enough to keep it alive. And then from here, I'm just going to get Hunter's Hall, 5 archers. I've done a video actually on this build versus one base human. So basically, I'm just doing what's in that video. Then he's doing, again, a really risky creep camp, which he gets his level 3. But level 3 is not really like the end-all be-all in this matchup, especially if I'm getting a lot of experience, as well as like trading footies for free. So that's already the 3rd footy down, and I'm already almost level 3 myself, and that's really definitely like one of the benefits of Amazonia, is that Elf can creep so fast, like at the very beginning of the game, that it doesn't take much to get level 3 after that. So already at this point, I'm feeling pretty good. Killed it, actually, fourth footy, I didn't realize it. And I'm just creeping the Cobalt Taskmasters because since he crept all the level 3s, it's like super easy for me to creep the inner orange and get the item because I have frost arrows and I can slow the that one creep camp. And I do I was gonna go for this, which actually I forgot I thought he didn't kill it, but I end up just kind of right-clicking his Archmage, thinking that he's just gonna run away because he doesn't have any boots. So I mean, there's really no point in him making this trade right here. But I think I might have seen that the camp was done already. But either way, I end up wrapping around with the my army. And right when the Naga gets in range of the Rifleman, that's when I started attacking the Rifleman. I didn't want to attack the Rifleman until my Naga could get there, because I wasn't going to kill it if my Naga wasn't there. So that gives me level 3, and it's really just kind of like a slow burn from there. Like, there's not a whole lot that one base human can do when you're this far behind. All I have to do is tech to my bears, get them out, and you can't even push my base because he's lost so much. And he can't really freely creep as well because he's lost so much, especially when you go Blood Mage. Because Blood Mage, it's very hard to defend against early aggression with Blood Mage if you are massively behind on like footies, I think. So I just heal up. Could have gotten my Naga surround there. He was really fast enough with that one, actually. But yeah, a lot of units are going to fall here. Get level 2. Probably one of the worst Fork Lightnings. There we go. Probably didn't use that there, but I thought it was, I was like, oh, I'll just get rid of my mana, but I probably could have used Frost Arrows better here. So yeah, at this point, the game's pretty much over. I do lose 2 archers, but I've traded like everything, so it's not a big deal. And I'm gonna kill his hero. And basically, this is a really cut and dry gameplay of my Night Elf versus Human 1 base